Another day with lots of enthusiasm, joy, women vigor with delight. This spectacular Laguna Turquiri, located in Potosi, Bolivia at an elevation of 4,447 meters above the sea level, has a length of 4.61 kilometers. It's a beautiful natural saline lake. Enjoy this majestic aerial view by our drone. Laguna Turquiri, located in Potosi, Bolivia, sits at an elevation of about 14,000 feet above sea level. art galleries and museums of ancient cultures. I went into the wilderness of Mother Nature to watch her beauty. Nature here is seen at its best, beautiful forms and shapes. Nature is a powerful sculptor. The scene in front is created through addition and removal of rocks of varying strengths, sculpted by strong wind, water, gravity, and upheaval. The sandstone wander and colors in vast palette of the earth. The true beauty of nature's strenuous, continual chiseling carvings and formations are a reminder of the power and beauty of Mother Earth. Feeling most alive in this vastness of beauty. Amazing sandstone monoliths, spires, buttes, pinnacles. Every line, groove, band, layer in the rock has a story unrevealed. This is Laguna Chalveri. It is a high mountain salt lake and is a large inland body of standing water. It has a coastal perimeter of about 20 kilometers. Towards the south of this lagoon, there is an area of 30 degrees Celsius hot springs. Laguna Chalveri is located in Potosi, Bolivia at an altitude of about 4,400 meters above sea level. Laguna Verde is a salt lake in the southwestern Altiplano in Bolivia. It is located in the Sur province of the Potosi department. It is close to the Chilean border at the foot of the volcano Laguna. This lake sits at an elevation of about 14,000 feet above sea level. It covers an area of 7.5 square kilometers and has a depth of 18 feet. In the backdrop of the lake, there is the inactive volcano Laguna, which is nearly a perfect cone. A narrow causeway divides it into two parts. It has mineral suspensions of arsenic and other minerals, which renders color to the lake waters. Its color varies from turquoise to dark emerald, depending on the disturbance caused to sediments in the lake by winds. Laguna Verde in Spanish means green lake. A narrow corridor separates Laguna Blanca from the smaller Laguna Verde. Both are within the Edwardo Evero Andean Fauna National Reserve. The white color of the water gave the lake its name, which is caused by the high amount of minerals suspended in it. As we pass through the military post to enter Laguna Hedionda, I can't wait to see this spectacular laguna set in the backdrop of snow-covered mountains at an altitude of 4,121 meters above sea level. Laguna Hedionda in Spanish means stinking lake, is a saline lake in the Potosi department of Bolivia. It is a very remote area where human habitation is negligible. It is notable for various migratory species of pink and white flamingos. What an incredible sight of flamingos feeding merrily, marching in unison with graceful gait, and a breathtaking show when herd of flamingos take flight. Flamingos make themselves at home on some of the most toxic caustic bodies of water. The water they prefer is often flesh-strippingly alkaline, and the ground that surrounds the shores absorbs those harmful properties. The scaly skin on their legs is tough enough to handle it, but their softer flesh is a little more at a risk. In other words, if you were going to curl up on that mud, you would start feeling uncomfortable pretty quickly. But if you can sleep standing up, then everything is just gravy. Bolivia is unique in that it is one of the only four countries that is home to the Chilean flamingo, the James flamingo, and the Andean flamingo, which are the rarest species of flamingo in the world. These three species of flamingos are more than willing to share space with each other, including their nesting and breeding colonies. The legs of the flamingo is longer than the body. The ankle is located about halfway up the leg. The knee is located close to the body and is not externally visible. The joints that are visible are the ankle joint and the joints of the appendages. The raw nature of this region, the lakes, the volcanoes, and the arid landscapes has kept these birds hidden away from the modern world. So much that James Flamingo was thought to be extinct until a population was discovered in a remote area in 1956 where all the good food was at high up in the Laguna of the Andes. James Flamingo is smaller than the Andean flamingo and is named after Harry Berkeley James, who discovered it. The flamingos are unsociable. When they see you, they start to chirp and the whole bunch of flamingos begin to move away. They have a heavy bent bill that is held upside down in water in order to filter feed on small organisms. Flamingos can open their bills by raising the upper jaw as well as by dropping the lower. A flamingo's large, fleshy tongue is covered with bristle-like projections that help filter water and food particles through the comb-like lamellae lining the upper and lower jaw. When the upper and lower jaw come together, the lamellae of upper and lower mandibles form a mesh acting as a super filter. Their bills are specially adapted to separate mud and silt from the food they eat and are uniquely used. Look at that flamingo balancing on one leg with the other leg tucked beneath the body. That's how it usually stands. Balance is for the birds. The reason for this is not fully understood. One theory is that standing on one leg allows the bird to conserve more body heat. An alternative theory is that standing on one leg reduces the energy expenditure for producing muscular effort to stand and balance on one leg. One-legged pose could be held without any muscle activity, demonstrating substantially less body sway than they did on two. The bird easily falls asleep on one leg. That suggests that flamingo joints have a locked resting position that secures them in place as long as they are standing on one leg. Can dead flamingos be made to stand? Yes, they can. Newly hatched young ones are grey or white in color, but adults range from light pink to bright red due to aqueous bacteria and beta-carotene obtained from their food supply. A white or pale flamingo is usually due to ingesting smaller amount of carotenoids in their diet. Flamingos whose sole diet is blue-green algae are darker than those that get it secondhand by eating animals that have digested blue-green algae. Flamingos filter feed on brine shrimp and blue-green algae as well as insect larvae, small insects, mollusks, and crustaceans, making them omnivores. Laguna Colorada, also called as the Red Lagoon, sits at an elevation of about 4,300 meters above sea level. The red color of the lake is due to the high content of minerals and algae. However, it is also believed that the water is actually the blood of the gods by the locals. Laguna Colorada is located in Potosi and belongs to Eduardo Avaroa Andean Fauna National Reserve. Spanning 6,000 hectares, this shallow salt lake is less than a meter deep, and the shoreline is fringed with brilliant white deposits of sodium, magnesium, borax, and gypsum. The lake sediments are rich in diatoms. This spectacular scarlet lake, contrasting to the white snow on the distant mountains and the cloudless blue sky high above, is heavenly. Three different species of flamingo gather on the shallow lake to feed on plankton, which is also abundant in these scarlet waters. Although the scarlet red color of the lake is derived from the algae that thrive in its salty water, but occasionally the lake has green phases as well because different algae display different colors. The type of algae at any given time is determined by the changing salinity and the temperature of the water. As lake water evaporates in the desert climate, it becomes saline. Ancient shorelines show that the lake has been larger in the past. The lake is set amidst desolate rocks and salt deposits which do not seem to be particularly habitable. Nevertheless, the area has a surprising amount of fauna, including Andean foxes and cats, pumas, llamas, alpacas, and many more native species. Laguna Honda is a Bolivian saltwater lagoon located in Potosi near the border of Chile at an altitude of 4,114 meters. Landscape surrounded away by volcanoes with peaks covered in snow is just spectacular and beautiful. The Laguna Honda means deep lake, but in reality it is just 10 centimeters depth. Laguna Chalveri, located in the Bolivian highlands at an altitude of 4,201 meters, is located near the border of Chile in Potosi department. On the path, there are these apachitas, the canes of different sizes and shapes, some stacked shoulder level and higher, which are a pile of rocks built along the trail in the high Andes Mountains. Combined with the bizarre yarita plants that grow along the arid rocks, the trail takes us on a martian landscape with a dramatic backdrop of volcanic mountains. Translated from Quechua and Aymara, Apachita means the source where the flow begins and marks high points along the mountain path. These piles of stones arranged artistically are offering Supachamama, which means Mother Earth, the god of the sky, soil, and underworld. The real value of Apachitas is spiritual, and the piles are used to commune with a higher power with miles above the sea in the mountains. Each stone represents a problem that, when taken up, the mountain lies behind. In a pile, there are many problems of different people. Apachitas are seen as having supernatural powers and connecting with them through a prayer is said to bring good luck and protection while on the trail. Apachitas are built and serve as altars to guide people along the path. These green velvet cushion coral-like solid rock flora of Andes Highlands are the surviving champions in extreme high elevation environments. It belongs to plant kingdom in Apiaceae family, and the local name of this flora is Yarita. Its botanical name is Azorella compacta. Apiaceae is a family mostly of aromatic plants. No doubt why Yarita has that minty pine resin-like fragrance. Yarita are some of the weirdest Apiaceae I have ever seen. The sap they produce smells a lot like pine resin and is used locally to help ignite fires as it is highly flammable. I wonder if all those terpenes are functioning like a sort of antifreeze in the plant. Yarita is traditionally harvested for fuel, but its growth is very slow that makes this practice highly unsustainable. Yarita is estimated to grow approximately 1.5 centimeters per year. Many Yaritas are estimated to be over 3,000 years old. Azorella compacta is traditionally used in the form of tea or infusion in the Indian region of South America to treat various chronic diseases. The infusion activates human immune cells and scavenges free radicals in vitro. Yarita, an evergreen perennial flowering plant with pink or lavender flowers, grows at altitudes between 10,000 to more than 17,000 feet above the sea level. The hermaphrodite self-fertile flowers are pollinated by insects. The plant prefers sandy, well-drained soils. It can grow in nutritionally poor soils that are acidic, neutral, or alkaline. Yarita is well adapted to high isolation rates typical of the Andes Highlands and cannot grow in shade. The plant's leaves grow into an extremely compact, dense mat that reduces heat and water loss. This mat grows near the ground where air temperature is 1 or 2 degrees Celsius higher than the mean air temperature. This temperature difference is a result of the long-wave radiation re-radiated by the soil surface, which is usually dark gray to black. The Siloli Desert in the southwest of Potosi, Bolivia, is characterized by its rocky formations resulting from the strong winds that the region has. As we drive in the midst of high, lonesome country, from the dusty gravel sandy roads, we come across a wide, long stretch of several valleys of bizarre, eroded rock formations. These strangely shaped badlands are great for a wander and snapping some photos. Perfectly chiseled by nature's own hands, these rock forms leave us spellbound. This Altiplano is considered as one of the most arid in the world due to the low precipitation in the zone. It is usually integrated into tourist routes since it is the gateway to the Eduardo Avarova Andean Fauna National Reserve, and in its vicinity are the famous colored lagoons. Bolivia is one of the most beautiful countries in South America due to the concentration of stunning landscapes worthy of countless wows. A place that activates your imagination to the extreme, making you think you are on another planet. A trip here feels much like a trip to a strange and beautiful new planet. These miniature cave system known as honeycomb weathering or Swiss cheese rock tephany are small rounded, smooth-edged openings in a rock surface most often found in arid or semi-arid deserts. They can occur in clusters looking much like a sponge and are nearly always on a vertical or inclined face protected from surface runoff. In terms of wildlife, it is home to a unique set of organisms particular to the alpine regions of the Andes. Plants and animals must be able to handle high altitudes with less available oxygen, cold nightly temperatures and frost, little shade or protection from the elements and arid dry conditions. One example of unique wildlife is the vicuña, a species of camelid related to the llama and the alpaca. These animals are prized because of their soft and warm but extremely lightweight fur. Viscacha is a rodent of two genera, Lagitium and Lagostomus, in the family Chinchillidae. They are native to South America. The Viscacha looks much like a rabbit due to convergent evolution, but are not closely related. Right now, I am enjoying the sight of this graceful, adorable, adroitly moving tribe of animals. How systematically they walk in a line as if instructed by the leader. Llamas and alpacas are domesticated South American camelid. They are domesticated for their fur, meat, and as pack animals by Andean cultures since the pre-Columbian era. They are very social animals. Llamas and alpacas are both quite similar, and it can be easy to mix the two furry creatures up. They are fluffy and adorable. It's thought that the Incas bred llamas and alpacas from the undomesticated guanacos and vicuña species. The vicuña is a small deer-like creature that is more closely related to the alpaca, and the guanaco is a smaller version of a llama. Both the vicuña and the guanaco are currently protected species in South America due to their low populations. The vicuña are more protected than the guanaco because of their valued coat of hair.